I see the human experience as the foundation of everything, and the backdrop of that in my personal belief system is you have a soul, and then the soul go, whoo, I want to have an experience on planet Earth. And then that soul comes and it has a human experience in order to express itself. Now, I believe that human, which is us, has got incredible abilities and incredible power. And I think AI is only an expression of that. And that's why what we're seeing in technology around us, for me, is always a reminder of what we are capable of. That, therefore, I see the human as the superpower, and I see AI and technology only as a way to enhance those superpowers. So if you look at it from that point of view, the one can't be against the other. The one is enhancing and improving the other. So I think, if you are comfortable in your skin being a human, you can never really be threatened by technology,
Exactly.
including AI.
Before we dive back into today's conversation, I want to share something important. This episode includes a paid partnership with BetterHelp, a platform designed to make starting therapy easier. I know from my own journey as a leader and entrepreneur that life can sometimes feel overwhelming. There are seasons where stress, uncertainty, and pressure build up, and you need a safe space to process it all. That's where therapy comes in. Therapy isn't only for people facing clinical challenges. It's a space to reflect, grow, and find better ways to manage stress, relationships, and personal goals. It takes courage to seek help, but it's also one of the smartest investments you can make in your mental and emotional well-being. That's why I'm proud to highlight BetterHelp. With BetterHelp, you simply fill out a short questionnaire and get matched with a credentialed therapist in just a couple of days. If the first match doesn't feel like the right fit, you can easily switch therapists at no extra cost until you find someone who truly connects with you. Inside the platform, you'll also find tools like journaling and group sessions on different topics that can support your growth. And with over 7,000 reviews and a 4.5 Trustpilot rating, BetterHelp is a platform you can rely on. So if you feel like you'd benefit from talking to a therapist, visit betterhelp.com/KingDames. That's betterhelp.com/KingDames to get 10% off your first month of therapy. Once again, this is a paid partnership with BetterHelp, and I encourage you to take that first step if you've been thinking about it. Sometimes the best investment you can make is in yourself.
Welcome to the King Dems podcast, where we share the stories of extraordinary people and dissect hot, relevant topics that shape our world. From visionary leaders to trailblazing creatives, we uncover the mindset, strategy, and grit behind greatness. Whether it's business, culture, or personal growth, we ask the real questions. This isn't just conversation, it's transformation. The King Dems podcast. Your next breakthrough starts here.
Music licensing reimagined.
Real life, ladies and gentlemen, you're once again welcome to the Kingdoms podcast. And today I have with me a professional fighter fighting out of Cape Town, South Africa, by way of running away from London, England. Make welcome Landi, the CEO of the Circle of Excellence. Jac. How are you, Landi?
I'm good, Adimola. What an introduction. It's wonderful to be here with you and your listeners.
Whoa, for 30 seconds right there, you were thinking, oh, I'm a fighter now?
You'll never know what I really think, Adimola.
Oh, so some things are best left unsaid,
Exactly.
You
Ask
can go
that
to the
question,
grave,
hear no
that's
lies.
well, Landi, just like London, but Landi left London because she's too beautiful for London. And, we have a bone to pick with you, Landi.
You do. I'm ready.
We do have a bone to pick with you. Anyways, you're globetrotter, and I just wonder what your passport must look like.
It looks like a circus, Adimola, to be very honest with you. And I don't have one passport. I have two at this stage. At some stage, I had five because I had to keep on getting
Whoa.
a passport because of the stamps. And it drives you crazy because you travel sometimes and then they actually go for a brand new stamp, a brand new page, and they put the stamp on there. And sometimes I just want to say to them, can't you see there's more space still on that page? But I've got a lot of stamps. You can call me a stamp collector.
It's a global scrapbook for stamps. You are a stamp collector, and it's interesting. You remind me of that Drake song. She used to call me on the cell phone late night when she needs someone, and there's a point where it says running out of pages on a passport.
I've not heard the song, but it's
You,
exactly that.
you should go listen to that song. So you have run out of pages on your passport, and of course, Drake was thinking
Yeah.
about you. Come on.
Ah, it's Drake. Of course it's Drake. Yeah, I'm
And
flattered.
you're very rude because you don't even know the song.
I know. All I can say is sorry. Sorry.
Apologies. You should be apologizing to Drake, man.
Yeah.
you know, being around the world, right? Are you able to share like one unforgettable experience from one of your travels?
Adimola, I have so many unforgettable experiences, and I think that's why we travel. So one of the things that always sticks by me is we've got our brand is Circle of Excellence, but we have another brand called Young Entrepreneur X Factor. And these are
Uh,
a bunch of young teens and tweens that actually pitch their businesses in Malaysia. And then when we go and visit there, you can just imagine these kids standing on stage and pitching their ideas for the future. And I always find that hugely inspiring because we're always judges in that competition, but it blows my mind when I see that in terms of the younger generations and what they're coming up with in terms of entrepreneurship and how they see themselves already as global citizens. I see myself now as a global citizen. I didn't get schooling as a global citizen, but those kids, they're now getting schooled as global citizens. And I find that hugely inspiring. But if you want to talk about experiences, when I travel, there's hundreds and thousands I can share with you. And that's just wonderful to be able to do that because travel expands your mind, makes your world bigger.
mhm. Exactly. I tell people travel is a very big part of our education.
Yeah,
There was a guest who said something about me. She says, "You are a modern day business philosopher." So for
well,
me, one of my philosophies is that human capacity is actually a function of your education, your exposure, and your enlightenment. And of
I
course, a
agree.
very big part of your education and your exposure is your travel. You know, I do have an episode, that had a subtitle, think global but act local.
Yeah, I
So
like
it's
that.
it's always yeah, it's always very, very essential to think global, be a
Yeah,
global citizen, think beyond, the ecosystem of the environment that you're in. And technology has actually helped to make the world, a global village. So
massively.
there is no excuse for you
No,
not to think global. Thinking global, you have actually had that privilege to work in over 50 countries. So, what's one universal business principle that you have seen succeed everywhere, regardless of the race and demographics and culture?
Adimola, relationships that you have with people. And I think so many people, I'm a big fan of tech. I'm a Gemini. So, there's AI named after us. So I should be a very big fan of tech. I
Google
just,
Gemini. Google Gemini. I have a brother who's Gemini. What's your birthday? The June
20th
or
of
the May?
June, 20th of June. So I'm like
Whoa,
at the end of the January.
you're the
Yeah.
closing stock.
I know. In Chinese culture, I'm a snake, so I'm actually a Gemini fire snake. So I'm really big on technology, but I can tell you, doesn't matter where you go, what culture, what country, it's the relationships you have with people that really makes a difference. And I think, there's such a debate going on at the moment, AI versus human, and which one is most important. And it's my honest belief that if the two could work together, you'll know we'll hit the sweet spot because if you can combine the intelligence of AI and the technology out there, as you would know, with the relationships you have with people that you continuously build, those people are always the most successful people. The ones who harness bonds and relationships with people and has the ability to get other people to trust them as an expert in their field, and they combine it with technology and innovation, which are tools in order to not only build business but to continue your reach in terms of having more relationships with people, find regardless of countries or cultures, that's the same. In fact, the more you travel, the more you don't see differences anymore. You start seeing more similarities. And I think that's one of the reasons we travel, Me and Mike, my husband, says, doesn't matter what culture or country or race you encounter or background or ethnicity, most people we come across want three things. They want to have love, they want to have money, and they struggle to trust. Same across the
Wow.
world. Yeah.
Interesting stuff. Our episode 84 of my podcast is actually titled Humans First, AI Next. How to
Wow.
lead, adapt, and thrive in the age of intelligence.
I love
So,
that. Humans first, AI next. I love that.
I love that you are touching on, AI. Uh, it's a topic that is very, very, very dear to my heart. I love AI,
Me
but
too.
I see that a lot of people have misconceptions about AI,
Mm.
right? For me, my philosophy is that AI has come to stay. AI is the greatest tool that has been put in the hands of humans.
Yeah.
And
I love
AI
that.
is a tsunami. Yeah, it's a tsunami.
Yeah.
It's either you go with the flow or the flow takes you
Thank
along
you.
with it.
Yeah, I agree.
There's no middle point. But what's your quick take, AI and how it is impacting the global business landscape, and what are the possibilities that we can achieve with the assistance of AI?
Yeah, good question. Adimola, I see the human experience, and you may enjoy this as a philosopher, a tech philosopher. I see the human experience as the foundation of everything. And, and the backdrop of that in my personal belief system is you have a soul, and then the soul go, woo, I want to have an experience on planet Earth. And then that soul comes and it has a human experience in order to express itself. Now, I believe that human, which is us, has got incredible abilities and incredible power. And I think AI is only an expression of that. And that's why what we're seeing in technology around us, for me, is always a reminder of what we are capable of. That, therefore, I see the human as the superpower, and I see AI and technology only as a way to enhance those superpowers. So if you look at it from that point of view, the one can't be against the other. The one is enhancing and improving the other. So I think, if you are comfortable in your skin being a human, you can never really be threatened by technology,
Exactly.
including AI. And, look at the world at the moment. Look at us on our phones. Look at us on our computers. Did we not have the same level of resistance to change back then? So, can you imagine someone taking your phone and your computer and everything away from you now? Can you imagine someone taking our Wi Fi away from us? So, I'll tell you this quick story. Me and my husband has just finished a corporate stint where we did some keynotes on a roadshow for a corporate financial services company. And they had my husband up first in his talks, and he was talking about conscious leadership, which is a topic that's very close to his heart. And I was talking about energy and peak performance and, how we can actually become the best version of ourselves. And then we were followed by a guy, Hein Wagner, who's blind since birth. And he blew my mind as the third keynote speaker in this roadshow, because he was basically saying to the audience, look, people, I've been using AI for ages as a blind person. In fact, if it wasn't for AI as a blind person, there's so many experiences and communication opportunities and business and lead generation that I wouldn't have been able to do. And he's shared with us, with the audience, that there's now an AI functionality out that allows him for the first time as a blind person to take his phone and take a picture of a piece of art. And then this tells him, this is the piece of art in front of you. This is who wrote it. This is the texture. This is the philosophy. This is what the artist is all about. This is a story. And that blew my mind. I thought, wow, here we're going on. We're sitting in a debate, AI or not AI. There's people with disabilities. There's people, with all sorts of things that's been using it for ages. And in many respects, I think sometimes we're a little bit behind. And can't you call the algorithms on your mobile phone AI anyway? the person who's using with a pacemaker, walking with a pacemaker in their heart, is that not AI anyway? And I also think, if you in a position where nothing is threatening you, then of course you can say, oh, I don't need AI, I'm a human, blah, blah, blah. But what if the day come when you need an organ and AI is going to print that organ for you? Would you still be that much against AI, or would you go, actually, I am now really open to seeing what this can do for us? So, you have a podcast that is about what AI can do in the health industry. And I really want to encourage your listeners to go check that one out, because
Thank you. Thank you for the plug.
I'm not trying to be for AI or against AI. I'm just saying, maybe we have been living with AI for quite some time. Many people has. And why don't we look at AI as something that enhances the human experience and the creative process, as
Mhm.
opposed to say it's human versus AI or robot or whatever. Yeah.
Never. It's never human versus AI. But I think a lot of those guys who are the proponents or anti-AI people, I guess they've seen too many sci-fi movies.
Maybe.
AI comes up with a revolution to destroy the world and to destroy the human race.
And let's be, fair. Maybe they have a point. Maybe there is intelligence in robotics that can, get to the point. I wouldn't say get to the point where it precedes human intelligence, because it's already preceded human intelligence. I think for the first time in history, artificial intelligence is preceding human intelligence to the point where we're no longer going to be the one giving instructions. It can now give us instructions. So maybe some of your, you know, scaremongers, or maybe some of the people listening here today have a point. I think the point is we don't know. We have to be open to see what happens, and I guess take the consequences of our actions.
You're talking about the point, but I'll ask you, what is the point in a pointless point?
But it's way above my grade. So
So, because you just
I
keep driving
no,
to nowhere.
I was like no, too complex.
What is the point in a pointless point?
Uh, no,
It's just clear, why
yeah.
hate when you can collaborate?
Yeah, well, I like that. That's why hate
Mhm.
if you can collaborate, right? And I think that is the point here. So why would we be stuck in this fights between the human experience and AI as an enhancer if we can't much rather use our time and see how these things can hold hands and bring good into the world? You said to me previously, Adimola, that you're a conscious person, you're in business, but you see yourself as an enlightened leader. So why are we not having these conversations? Why are we having conversations about who's wrong and who's right? Why don't we look at collaboration and opportunities to make the world a better place, human and AI, or human with the
Exactly.
help of AI, right?
Humans collaborating with AI.
Yeah,
And I can say for free, I'm very proud to say that uh, the point at which I started, using AI, in the production process of this podcast, I did experience significant growth on the podcast. We're
yeah.
currently on 10,000 plus subscribers on YouTube. And AI has
Congratulations.
actually, thank you very much. And we are growing, we're growing, we're going for bigger milestones. And AI has actually been a very, very instrumental part of the growth. So I
Yeah,
am a very, very big proponent of the use of AI for
yeah.
scaling up, for growth, for learning. You know, AI has endless possibilities. Trust
I
me,
agree with
endless
you. Quantum
possibilities.
leaps.
And I encourage everyone,
Yeah.
under the impact of my voice to please, if you were anti-AI before, just, have a rethink.
Try it a little bit. Try a little bit. Yeah.
Why
Like see
why
what it
hate
can
when you
do.
can collaborate and
Exactly.
you see the growth?
Absolutely. Ademola, just to give your listeners an idea, I mean, as a person who's on the road all the time, you really have to watch what you eat
Mhm.
and the lifestyle you live, because you will just get super unhealthy. Because if you're on the road
Exactly.
all the time, you constantly tell yourself, you only live once and you're only in this country once and you only have this experience once. So you just become completely undisciplined and hedonistic, right? So you just try everything and eat it. So for years, I've been trying to find this formula on the road for me, what will work for my health and for my body weight and for my height and for the foods I prefer. And then you just make the formula more complex by saying, I'm not like other people who can prepare food, at home. I'm in restaurants all the time, wining and dining people. So I've been on Googling all the time, Googling what will be the best solution. And literally, like, this is an 8-year process of Googling and finding a formula. And literally in the last few weeks, because of our friend AI, I'm able to go now to AI and say, look, my buddy, because it is my buddy, right? It's my best buddy at the moment. I can say to AI, please come up with a formula for a female who's this age, who's this height, who weigh this much, who's on the road all the time,
Body
that has
mass index.
one, giving us really customized solutions to our problems. So, and again, speaking not for or against, there's people who's going to be listening today and say, Landi, but there's a classic example of how it's going to cost people their jobs. Yes, I think it's going to cost millions of people their jobs because of the quality of the solutions that this is going to provide. But because of that, I also think it's going to create millions of jobs.
Yeah, new opportunities.
Yeah.
There was a guest on this podcast who said, you're not going to lose your job to AI. You're going to lose your job to your colleague who is good at utilizing AI.
Well, isn't that a really good point? And I mean, what does it mean to be good at utilizing AI? In my personal experience over the past few months, the ability to ask quality questions, the ability to brief, I think is just going to put you a cut above the rest. The ability to prompt AI.
That's the word I was waiting
Yeah,
for. It comes
prompt.
from one word, the prompt,
Yeah, the
garbage
prompt
in,
AI.
garbage
Yeah,
out.
exactly. The way
The
you're going to
quality of your
brief and
prompts,
prompt,
don't worry.
quality of your life is going to come down to the way the quality of you prompting
Mhm,
AI. There you go. That's
mhm.
that's what it's going to be. The
The
more you can
prompt,
prompt, it's the prompt.
So somebody was attacking me saying, "Oh, you like using AI too much? Using your human brain, blah blah blah." Excuse me, I am a gifted individual. I did my IQ test. I'm in the 130s, so naturally gifted. So I
You
am not
can
ashamed.
prompt. You can
So
prompt it.
the only guys ahead of me are the geniuses, and good luck.
Yeah.
Albert Einstein and co. I'm just, a hair's breadth below you guys, but I'm cool. I'm cool in my region. So
Well, you can prompt, right? You have the ability to really ask quality questions. And I think if you have an
exactly.
imagination, and a lot of people think it's going to take our imagination away,
No,
I'm just
no
thinking,
way.
no,
No
take your
way.
imagination and prompt. So imagination plus
Exactly.
prompting. Can you imagine, Adimola, what's going to come out of this?
Exactly. AI is built to optimize your solutions, right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
the optimality is dependent on the human intelligence that is
Yeah,
training that artificial intelligence. So
yeah,
we are in the age and time where we have the height of artificial intelligence. But the paradox? We're also in the age and time of the height of human foolishness.
yeah.
There's a lot of
Both,
information,
unfortunately, yeah.
you know, there's a lot of information out there, but check out the kind of stupid and foolish and I don't know, very lame questions that people ask. Even you on a day-to-day basis, and you'd be like, you know what I do? I'm like, okay, excuse me, do you have a phone? They say yes. Is it a smartphone? Yes. Have you been banned from Google? They say no. Have you been banned from using ChatGPT? I say, you know what? Just take your phone. Just type that thing inside. Type it. Like, you get an answer, and then
Any
they'll be like,
answer
oh,
you need, anything. I mean,
like, why are you
not
like this? Excuse me. Like, you should use technology.
yeah, yeah. But I think, people will catch up. Remember, it took people years to catch up, with computers. Then it was called computers. Then it was laptops. Then it was mobile technology. I mean, I remember the days when we all were working on calculators, and then suddenly we were going from the calculator to the Excel sheet, and we were freaked out. Everyone was freaked out. We thought we were going to be
Exactly.
dumbed down or whatever. So, so I just think this is another one of those quantum leaps. But I think this is quite a big one.
It's quite interesting. I'm a millennial,
Right.
I'm a millennial, and I clocked 33 April. And I think back, I look at the technological evolution that I've experienced in my lifetime.
Yeah.
I feel like I am old but not too old, and I feel like I'm young but not too young.
Yeah, you
Stuck,
really sort of want to bridge, aren't you? Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
stuck in between the Gen Zs and
Yeah.
the Generation X, and there's that generation war going on between the Generation X and the Gen Zs because the Gen Zs are more tech pro, but the
Yeah.
Gen X's are, not very not very tech savvy.
Yeah.
And we as millennials are now in between as the diplomats between the Generation X. We are like the uncles of the
You're
generation,
required. You're
the
required. But I
uncles and
mean,
aunties to
that makes
balance the
you
two generations.
that makes you facilitators. You're actually facilitators
Mhm,
of this process, which is extraordinary to be part of that.
mhm.
Absolutely extraordinary to be part of that. And so it's going to be interesting how it applies to, like you say, the different generations. But I have to say, I've met as many Gen Xers who's not for tech as they are for tech. And I've
Mhm.
met as many millennials who are really big on tech, but millennials who also is going, we don't want this. We don't want this for our children. We want more of an organic experience. I want to be off the grid, whatever. So it's difficult to generalize at the moment in terms of, who's for and who's against. I think it's becoming
Uh-huh.
such a personal thing. Like I mentioned, the guy was born from birth, he's if I'm correct, probably either between he's X or he's between an X and a boomer. And I mean, he's been so savvy on AI and technology because he had to. And then,
Necessity is the mother of invention.
many times I walk now into cafes all across the world owned by millennials, and then you go, hey, can I get the Wi-Fi code? And then they go, no, we don't do tech here.
Excuse
We
me.
do human conversations. Then I'm like, I really
what,
need my
what,
Wi-Fi code.
what is your calendar? Are you in
I know.
1992?
Yeah. Well, I think we have to embrace both. I think we have to embrace both. I think it's like, these different perspectives coming together around the table, having a conversation that's going to make the sweet spot pop. That's where the beauty is going to lie. So hear everyone out, That's what we're all trying to do is hear everyone out. There's an organization, I'm not sure if you're aware of them. It's called the Human Library. I've not been involved with them myself, but I really want.
It seems like you're reading my mind because I was going to tell you about how I used to use the library, and
Wow.
the manual searches, and now we now have optimized, search engine optimization. Why are you
Well, there
reading
you
my
go.
mind?
Well, I can read minds. That's what my community will tell you. So beware. But those that's a human.
Landi reading a mind in London.
I know the human library brings these different perspectives together
Mhm.
and prompt. Here we go again, a conversation. So I've been sitting on the sideline watching this AI human conversation and thoroughly enjoy it because there's valid points in each sides of the corner, as with everything,
Interested.
right?
Interested. Yeah, as with everything in life. And of course, talking of consciousness, right? Your Circle of Excellence Club actually focuses heavily on conscious leadership.
Yeah,
And you say it's something that is very close to the heart of your husband, right? So,
yeah.
can you quickly elaborate on what conscious leadership means to you and why it is crucial for entrepreneurs, today, like myself and
Sure.
yourself?
Well, Adimola, we believe that, and this is a slogan we use to explain conscious leadership, we believe that making a difference is as important as making a profit.
Yeah.
In entrepreneurship, the focus is really on making money. And I think there's a lot of people, especially in the spiritual space, who would say to you, no, the money's not important, but the money is important, right? I mean, you need decision-making power. And I do believe if the money wasn't important, then you should have just remained a spirit, because part of the human experience is coming here and learning what it means to be a human being. And I think one of
Mhm.
the toughest lessons is, you know, learning who you are and having that express in a company and a brand and ultimately become profitable. But then with that, you also want to have meaning in your life and you want to have purpose. And in us working with premium entrepreneurs around the world, many times they come to us because they're making a lot of money and the profit is there, but they have lost their purpose and they don't understand why they're here. Others would come and say, look, I have a purpose, but I'm still not making enough money and I want to scale. And, I want to make a lot of money and I want to scale because I want to bring my message out. So it really seems like these two work together, making a profit and making a difference. So for us, a conscious leader is a person who's holistic in their approach. They're more of an open-minded entrepreneur. They accept responsibility for making money and for doing it in a responsible way. In other words, not just have a business that's built around you, but something that can scale and have a legacy, but also want to leave the world a better place. When they die one day, and believe it or not, there's a lot of people who actually believe they're immortal and they're not going to die. But when they die one day, that either the business can continue or the message can continue and that they've left a legacy. They maybe, they helped the planet to be a better place. Maybe their family is a better unit because of them. Maybe their community is a better place because of them. And so we believe in that holistic approach to build business as an entrepreneur with the right business formulas that's tried and tested, but also to have a mindset that is healthy and that helps you to show up as the best version of yourself, and to consider spirituality, whatever that means for you, whether spirituality for you is a god or a universe or astrology or the elements or, whatever, maybe it's ancestral for you. Maybe it's about taking your ancestral line forward. Maybe it's for you sitting in church and being religious. It doesn't really matter to us, but the fact is that you consider business and profit next to a mindset that thinks of potential and possibility and is inclusive, plus making a difference on this planet, and spirituality and the unknown and whatever that means to you.
Wow, you are trespassing into my garden, and
Good.
yeah, my philosophical garden. I think a few episodes ago, I disclosed a new philosophical theory that I propounded, and I said, in order to be a well-rounded person, and this is born out of the fact that I have actually had the privilege to speak with successful people across all of the continents in the world. And I did sit back to ask myself, what is the common denominator? What makes these people successful?
Beautiful. What did you
And
find?
it came to one word. Do you want to know what that word is? Fitness. And fitness, being
Fitness,
fit.
right? Yeah.
It actually has a quadruple side to it. It has a quadrant. You have to be spiritually fit, you have to be mentally fit, you have to be physically fit, and you have to be financially fit.
There you go. There you
Those
got a
four
blueprint for
elements of
life, right?
fitness.
Almost like the medicine wheel of the shamans.
So tell me, what do you think about that? Because you've actually spoken to different aspects of the quadrant.
Yeah, we actually we teach very similar to what you did there. We talk about mental fitness, we talk about physical fitness, we talk about emotional fitness and spiritual fitness. The financial fitness for us lies in the same quadrant than the physical fitness because it's material
Mhm,
things, but we
mhm,
are very values aligned and very much on the same page. And I always
mhm,
say to people, if you feel you're stuck or you don't know where to develop yourself personally or professional, just go back to that blueprint that you so beautifully put out there for people and score yourself, score yourself in your physical fitness, or if you want to call it financial fitness, and be honest with yourself and say, what am I scoring here? Am I 2 out of 10? Am I 11 out of 10? You've arrived. Go to your mental fitness, score yourself. Am I 5 out of 10? Am I 6 out of 10? And just get a snapshot with those quadrants and look at where you are. And then you know where to actually focus your attention on. But I think what's difficult for people at the moment is they can't focus. Our entrepreneurs, our listeners will identify it's difficult to focus because we're getting distracted. We're getting distracted by Instagram. We're getting distracted by grog. We're getting distracted, all these things, all these theories and all these debates and all these geopolitical things that's going on. And we're getting so distracted that we forget to develop ourselves in those four quadrants. And I think that's where people are struggling at the moment.
oh, wow. Balance is essential, and That's
Exactly.
why, yeah, right from time to say you should take a balanced diet.
Exactly. We should be
Yeah.
taking a balanced diet, yeah. But balanced diet is also not just what you eat, but it's also how much fun you're having, how hard you work, whether you're on AI all the time or whether you're forming bonds with people all the time. I think it's a story of the human life. It's the story of business. It's the story of everything. It's the story of our psychology is to try and find balance in all these options that's available to us at the moment.
Mhm. Well, so for you, how do you get to achieve that, balance and avoid burnout? Because burnout is a very, very serious issue.
Yeah.
And if you achieve that balance and you're able to avoid burnout, you're able to continuously perform at your peak.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what's the secret?
Adimola, I'm going to give you a very, very, very boring answer. It's a boring
Okay.
answer.
I
The
love
answer,
boring answers.
it's a boring, because you said you
I
like
love
you like
boring.
structure and systems, right? So this is a boring. This is a The answer is rules. You have to put rules in your life and rules that fit you. So one of the rules I have to avoid burnout, especially given that we're all over the show, living out of suitcases in airports, we can land in a country and then suddenly have 3 events on the same day or 3 meetings on the same day, whatever. So we have to have rules because we live such a freedom lifestyle. We have to have 10 times more rules in our lives than other people. Otherwise, we'll be fat and unhappy very, very quickly. Like that, right? It happens overnight. You drop the ball and it happens overnight. And
Drop the ball.
you drop the ball. So one of the
Literally.
rules, exactly. One of the rules we have is that we work from Monday to Thursday
Mm.
like dogs, right? We get up early, we work hard, we have many meetings, we have lots of activity, we pack it in there, let me tell you. But then we do not necessarily work with clients on a Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. So
Oh,
maybe on a
interesting.
Friday, we'll work on our business. Maybe we'll do some strategy. Maybe me and Mike will go and sit in a hotel. We like to sit in 5-star hotels at the very top where we have a vision, a bigger vision, and we may have our personal meeting, or we are writers, both of us, so we may write on a Friday, whatever, but no client can access us on a Friday. And then we just don't work on weekends. Come hell or high water, we don't do it. Occasionally we run events and then we'll have an event on a weekend. But when we had an event on a weekend, we have to take the Monday and the Tuesday off to make up for that. So we put those rules in our lives. One of the big things that got me to burn out many moons ago was email. I was working for a corporate way before I was an entrepreneur, and we received those days 500 emails a day, not spam emails, not like automated emails, 500 requests a day. And we couldn't reach our goals in the department I was working for because of answering emails. And I'll never forget it. I worked for this woman and she came into the department and she was already going, why are your goals not reached? And what's going on? And we all like, because we're working on emails all the time. We don't get any time for anything else. And she said, what emails? And I said, we have 500 emails, or I alone, that I have to answer. And she was like, show me. And she came around my computer and she was leaning over my shoulder and she looked at all my emails and she went, edit, select all, delete. She deleted all my emails for the day. And I nearly freaked out, Adimola. I was like, what have you just done? And she said to me, here's the moment that changed my life. She said to me, if it's urgent, they'll call you or text you.
Exactly, exactly. That is what I always say, I've said this on this podcast before. This is my phone. My phone is permanently on do not disturb. And
Yeah,
I am
great.
unapologetic about it. If
Good.
it's important, you'll call me more than once, right?
Well,
There are a lot
honestly,
of notifications. There are a lot of we tend to confuse, urgent and important. Something
yeah,
can be important but not urgent. If it's urgent, you
yeah,
need to do it now. If it's
yeah.
important, it means you need to do it at some point. So if it's
Wisdom.
urgent and
That's
important,
wisdom.
do it now. If it's important but not
Absolutely.
urgent, you can delay it, right? If it's not important and it's not urgent, just ignore it. You just need to learn how to
Huge
do that.
wisdom right there. And after that experience, because I was sitting there shocked but you could literally hear my neural pathways in my brain going, oh, it's readjusting itself. And since then, I've been off email. So I've been off email for 10 years now. I use email only to register for stuff, and to create a profile. But I have not used email for communication for 10 years. I basically communicate with all my clients via WhatsApp. I have clients all over the world. We do WhatsApp calls and we WhatsApp each other back and forth, and you can upload a lot of documents in WhatsApp. And if it's really big documents,
Exactly.
then I use it with Dropbox, and so, or, any other file sharing software, and it's worked for me.
Absolutely. A lot of people tend to react, not respond, right?
Yeah.
And when
Yeah.
you are in that reaction mode, it feels like people are stealing your time. So
Yeah.
you always need to be in control of your time, and of course, identify items that are important, urgent, and know how to deal with them accordingly. Back to you. You talk about playing a bigger game, which could you share like that transformative moment in which your life was propelled into a bigger playing field?
Dimola, playing a bigger game is, I don't think, an action plan or a task or even an ambition. I think playing a bigger game is a feeling that arises in you. And previously we spoke about Africa and how proud we to be African and how Africa is rising.
About African
And
heritage.
African heritage. I'm born in Africa for the listeners. So if you may be looking at me and you're a bit
And
confused,
and you speak
like
African.
exactly. How does it work? I'm born in South Africa, so I identify as an African. There's no other country or continent I was born in. But so for me, playing a bigger game is a feeling that starts to rise in a person. And a lot of our premium clients approach us for that reason, where they feel that they are meant for more. They feel that they're meant to achieve more. They feel there's something in them that's itching and it needs to be scratched. And that something can be, look, my business has to be so much more bigger because my message needs to reach so many more people, or there's maybe a remembrance that, I came to this planet because I was supposed to invent something that's going to help a lot of people, or it's a feeling of stuckness. It's a feeling that I'm no longer playing a bigger game. I'm stuck in a chapter and I need to get out of this chapter come hell or high water. So therefore for us, playing a bigger game is not just about business. Business many times come into the equation because entrepreneurs, many of them want to play a bigger game in business. But when you dig deeper, you find out that they want to play a bigger game in business because there's another area that they feel they need to move to a next level. Maybe they want to become a leader in their field. Maybe they see something that's completely unjust in their community and they want to set it right, and they want to maybe fight for justice, or they want to, they see their parents is getting older and they see that their parents can't afford to retire and they want to play a bigger game to help them and to honor them, or they see that, there's people who's got no legs and, they don't have opportunities because of that. And they're an inventor at heart and they want to develop something day and night. They sit and want to develop something that's going to make this person be able to stand up and be independent again. And we have so many success stories with our clients of people who want to play a bigger game. They want to play a bigger game because they're an Olympian and they want to do better. They want to play a bigger game because they're an international speaker and now they want to become the president of the Global Speaker Federation. It's a person who want to focus on people who don't have their voice and develop a coaching product or package, and that's going to be their bigger game. It's a person who have developed a supplementation that they believe is going to change everyone's life. So those are the type of play a bigger game. It's a person who has a business but feel they've not been a very good partner, or their relationship with people has always failed, and they want to understand how they can be the best version of themselves. It's play a bigger game is so many things, but it's a feeling for people, and they approach us because that feeling is driving them literally insane.
So basically, it's about unlocking the next level or or
Yeah.
higher dimension in a
Yeah.
specific area of your life where you feel you're
Yeah.
found wanting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And we facilitate that process. We don't tell people this is how you do it. Of course, we've got a lot of business formulas, tried and tested. I mean, we've ran so many business masterminds from all over the world where we ask entrepreneurs, what's your problems? And then we come up with solutions and duplicate those. So we have the business formulas. We have these formulas that will make people more successful and help them scale their businesses and be more profitable. But many times that's only the start of the process. That is only the start of the process of facilitating. But why are you really doing this? In what way is your business really an expression of who you are? And what did you really come to do here? And what is your message and what is your legacy? So it's the combination of those things that I think make a person go boom.
Hmm, interesting. So, from your experience, you've actually interacted and observed, business leaders.
Yeah.
What do you think separates the good from the great when it comes to leadership?
Lifelong student, ability to learn. I think the leader who think they've arrived, they've reached a glass ceiling. So, they're at a point, it's sad to witness actually, they're at a point where they think they can't be tutored anymore, they can't learn anything else. They may think because of their age, no one can teach them anything anymore, especially a younger person. Maybe they think because of a certain material gain that they've now reached a point where no one can actually expose them. And I think that's the word for me, lifelong learning, which is something that I really believe in. That's why I travel. I travel because the more I find out, the less I know. The more I travel, the more cultures, the more I get, the more I realize, look, Landi, Jac, you know nothing. You know nothing, right? And we
You know
find that
nothing, Jon Snow. And
nothing.
of
I know
course,
nothing.
you're peeping into another episode.
I'm telling you,
I
I
said,
know
I
nothing.
said, I said, the more you know, the more you get to know that you don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Adimola,
you
it's
keep going
true.
down the rabbit hole. And
You
that is why I
do.
am a proud lifelong student.
That's the thing, and that's answering your question. The ones that really excel is hungry. They are hungry and they want to learn. And they don't just want to learn from a preconceived idea of what a teacher can be. They want to expose themselves. They want to be in as many situations as possible because ultimately that is what expands their minds and that is what sort of tickles their fancy, and that is what you know feed the imagination, prompt the human imagination to go, wow, there's options and potential and possibilities that is endless. And I think that's for me the beauty about diversity, because you can't travel if you don't want to embrace diversities. Traveling puts you in situations where you sometimes really do well with diversity. You go, wow, in this situation I'm adaptable and I'm flexible. And then you come in other situations, other diverse experience, and you go, I am the worst person. I am in this situation, I'm so open to diversity and I naturally flow into inclusivity. But then I get into a different situation. Goodness gracious, I didn't know I was so stubborn. I didn't know I was resistant to change. I can't understand how difficult it is for me to get aligned to this culture and to understand the differences. You have to put yourself in that soup, to really value where you excel and where you're not doing that well, and then stretch yourself. And that's why we do what we do, is to put ourselves in that situation. And extending on your question, what makes a leader really excel is I don't only think it's a person who's willing to learn. I think it's someone also who's comfortable with discomfort. They understand that the
Get
learning
comfortable
process,
being uncomfortable.
oh, it's not going to be easy. Society has now taught us positive affirmations and the learning experience, and it's going to be roses all the time. Hashtag not true. Not true. Not true.
Do you want to do you want to know what's written on my wall?
Yeah, please read that for me.
Okay, things to remember. Tomorrow is a new day. Making mistakes is part of life.
There you go.
Not everyone has to like you. Keep an optimistic attitude. Beauty and strength come from within.
Do you know that from the top of your mind?
Uh,
Or
yeah,
did you read that?
kind of, yeah, I can see it on the screen and it's behind
That's
my room.
really cool. That's really cool. How you basically got your value system up against your wall. Isn't that incredible?
Thank you. You know, that's why we need Landi in London to
Landi
update it.
from London is now living in South Africa. I did live in London for a year. I loved every moment. I'm very fond of London. I'm very fond of, the country where you buy a poem for £1 under the bridges, it's very inspiring.
Wow, wow, thank you. London misses Landi, and we need
Yeah.
Landi to land in London.
Yeah, I bought a poem under a bridge next to the Thames River in London, and it was called For £1. And the guy was sitting there, poet, artist, and he was writing his poems, and he would look at you, and then he would pick a poem that he believes was written for you even before he met you. And the poem was called Blue Moon. I'll never forget. But you only find
Wow.
this type of stuff in London, right? That's why I always look back to London with fondness. I had such epiphanies and breakthrough experiences. You know the saying, London makes you or breaks you. I believe it made me. And I'll always be grateful
I
for
like
London
that.
for that. Yeah,
Oh wow. Love and respect to London.
yeah. London
Whoa, that's actually true. It does make you or break you, but
does it.
yeah, you just have to be resilient and uh
Yeah,
discover yourself. Yeah, it does
yeah,
help you discover yourself. Yeah. And of course
absolutely.
I love London for that.
Yeah, me too. I'm on the
Well,
same
well,
page with you.
we are still angry. You're not on the same page with us. We are still angry. You ran away from us.
Right.
Until you come
Yeah.
back, we'll keep fighting you.
Yeah, no, I will be back, and we've been back many times. We've been back to London many
Mhm.
times, so we love going there. It's just, well, I love going there. My husband doesn't like London that much, but I do, and I think that's the thing with London. It's a very polarizing energy. You love it or you
Yeah.
hate it. You never find a person who go. People have strong opinions. They go, "Oh, I love London," or they go, "I never want to go to London again." Interesting, isn't it?
Interesting, and of course, remember the British transport system, see it, say it, sort it, you know,
Yeah,
TFL.
there you
So
go.
there you go. Like given that global experience, like how did you ensure that your global teams remain aligned and motivated despite the cultural differences and of course the geographical distances?
Well, I think number one, values, right? So for us, values is very, very important. And we have certain values that we've instilled in our culture. Love is obviously a huge value for us. Consciousness is a huge value for us. Doing things like, doing the right thing is a huge value for us. Excellence is a huge value for us, So
Yeah.
I think the first thing for us when we get a team member on board is to take 10 times more time, and you must listen because there's an alarm in the background. So this is a very important point. uh, to take 10 times more time to align with values than to, anything else. So I think traditionally when we do interviews or we get teams on board, we focus a lot of the competence, and competence is important, but we don't, focus on values. So for me and Mike and building our team around the world, we probably have at this stage about 33 people around the world working with us, not for us. And we values align. So we dream the same dream, we want the same thing, and we're on the same page when it comes to values. After that, we feel competence can be trained. We believe in regular communication in easy ways like WhatsApp. We believe in doing voice notes back and forth to each other where you can hear the tone of voice so that misunderstandings doesn't happen. Another
Uh-huh.
thing about, email that I don't like, the misunderstandings can happen so quickly. So we believe in doing that. We believe in getting online and having regular check-ins with each other. And then, of course, me and Mike do believe in buying the tickets, getting on the airport, getting on the aeroplane, and seeing people face to face. There's incredible value. And that as well, because it's about building that relationship. Now, I can't say you can't do that online, but it's wonderful if you go and see a person. And I think there's many people around the world that don't go and visit their teams. They only do the Riverside or the Zoom or the whatever they may be using, or WhatsApp or whatever.
Riverside, why are you entering our garden?
Good
This
old
ball is going to
Riverside.
come from London to Landi in Cape Town.
Good old Riverside. You know, whatever you're using, that's great. It's an enabler, but you want to get in the airplane. I want to encourage you all to get in your airplanes and buy tickets and go and see your people and
I
go
want to
eat
encourage
something with your
Landi.
people.
I want to encourage Landi to buy me a ticket to Cape Town so that I can come and see Landi and Mike.
Landi and Mike is not gonna buy you tickets. Adimola, you're gonna be buying your own tickets.
Have you heard of Bayern Munich?
Adimola, you've got family here. They expect you to come and visit you here in South African Cape Town. Let me remind you now, your
I've got
sister,
family in Johannesburg. You're
yeah,
Johannesburg, not Cape Town.
exactly, exactly. So your family in Johannesburg expect you to come and visit them. So you're gonna have to come soon. And they're going to listen to this podcast and they're going to go, I told you so. This is a message from the universe.
Wow, man, it's been a really, really great session. And of course, I know that Landy needs to go land somewhere else. So I'm
Yeah,
just going to give her 5 quick fire round questions before she
sure.
leaves because the most difficult thing to say is goodbye. Number one, what's your favorite city in the world for inspiration?
Oh, it has to be Paris. I love fashion. I love fashion.
Uh,
I love
okay.
Paris.
Well, wow, interesting. So Paris first, Cape Town next, London next. You love London, but it's not
I
the
love
least.
London. I love London, but I love Paris. I love New York. I love the big
Wow.
cities. I'm sorry, I'm a big city girl. I love it. Cape
So
Town, New York, Paris.
are you saying London is not a big city?
No, I love London, but I would
Be
say
careful. Be
Cape
careful.
Town.
Whatever you say, it can be used
Oh,
against you in the court of
this is a
law.
this is a trick question. I would say for top three. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Can you please forgive me, Adimola? Top three:
Hmm.
Paris, Cape
Father,
Town,
forgive her for she
New
knows
York.
not what she does.
Yeah, Paris, Cape Town, New York. There you go. You're just gonna have to forgive me. Sorry.
Okay. Your sins are forgiven. Go and see
Good.
no more. If you could only choose one, mindset or strategy.
Creating space, emptying the glass, focusing in your mind to empty it more than to put things in it. So we're now in the education and in the information overload era. So we constantly focusing on consuming more, get more in the mind, learn more, learn more, learn more. I mean, I get it, right? I'm a Gemini. I want to do it. I'm guilty as charged, right? Worst in the world. But to focus more on emptying, getting more out of the mind, clearing the mind, letting the fog go, I think is probably for me personally one of the most powerful mindset strategies that you can employ.
Okay. So one habit that is non-negotiable for your daily success.
Dancing, dancing, dancing. I start every single day with dancing. I've done dancing for all my life, for a long time. Modern dancing, hip hop, freestyle, slow dancing, rock and roll, ballet. But since I've started traveling really like this, which is now for 10 years, I'm not able to find a studio. So, and if I do, I'm here, then I'm there, then I'm here, then I'm there. So every single day starts with my Bose speaker that travels with me and dancing. And I do not compromise on that. No client, no person, no one can enter that space. It's my absolute joy. And it makes for a youthful and very happy mindset. I sort of imagine I'm in the club. I dance my morning. I put on my music. I've got my playlist. And I just imagine I'm in my club and I dance my heart out. No
Why
compromise.
Bose speaker? I am the JBL guy. And of
I'm
course I
both say,
travel around the world with my
yeah,
JBL speaker.
both say for me. Also, no,
Yeah, because you're a boss,
maybe
the boss is using the boss. Hey, so
you
we
said it.
understand. Yeah, we
I'll take
understand.
it. If you say it, I'll take it.
Well, the JBL is for the leaders.
Whatever, whatever.
The just born leader, JBL.
Adimula, whatever.
Okay, so what's the best business advice you've ever received?
There's so many things. Consistency. Just remain consistent. I'm
I
sorry
love
to our
consistency.
entrepreneurial list. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know it's been given so many times to people, but just continue to do it over and over. You know, if
Uh-huh.
you think about it, walking, we got to walk today. because we put one foot in front of the other. Continue, consistently do it, and you will be successful. Don't give up. Consistently do it. One foot in front of the other. I think there's a song like that. One foot in front of the other, baby. Consistency
Show
is
up
the
and show
best
out.
business ever.
Mhm.
Just keep on
Yeah,
going, keep on doing it. Don't give up, yeah.
yeah, never give up.
And use
Winners
AI. Am I
just
allowed to
win.
say that?
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Now you're inspiring me to buy the tickets.
I'm going to be stoned for that one, I know, but I'll take it.
Yeah, the best advice you've ever had. And of course, the very last one is what's one thing entrepreneurs must stop doing immediately to become successful?
I think and you said it earlier, we're very reactive. We very, this one says this and I'm going to do this. This one says this and I'm going to do this. This one says this and I'm going to do it. Just start your day with what I call the golden hour and use your own brain. Stop with all the 1,000 distractions. Use the first hour to decide, prioritize, what do I want to do with my day? What's the one thing I want to achieve with my day, regardless of what my email says or my WhatsApp says or what the latest fad or trend is? What do I want and what do I want to achieve? And focus on that consistently. If you can find a way to focus and fight distraction, you'll be a very successful person. In fact, I'll go as far as to say to our listeners, you'll be able to achieve 10 times more in half of the time of the day because you actually focus. So stop being an octopus with 8 tentacles, start becoming like a swordfish where you're really just focusing on that one thing and make it happen.
Focus on one thing, that don't be a jack of many trades and a master of none.
Exactly.
Plus, speaking of that,
Says Landi Jac, master of all trades, yeah.
Oh, don't be Landi Jac. Oh, nice little words. I encourage our viewers, our listeners to please go join the Circle of Excellence. And of course, Landi Jac, how do they land the jackpot of the Circle of Excellence?
I love that. Adimola, thank you. I love this interview and I'm wishing all of the best and blessings to your listeners.
Thank you very much. So, I think on the show notes, would you be kind enough to send the link for our people to join the Circle of Excellence?
Absolutely. They can go to the circleofexcellence.club link and they'll
Okay.
be able to join a waiting list there if they want to be part of the private membership club, which we are
Okay.
building around the world. So you just put up your details there,
Fantastic.
you're part of the waiting list, and then Bob's your uncle will make contact with you at some stage when we launch later this year. In the
Okay,
meantime, you just have to
fantastic.
wait on the waiting list.
Patience, they say, is a virtue.
Exactly.
Patience is a
Patience
virtue.
come to those, or good things come to those who wait, right? Snail wisdom.
I love that. I love that. And of course, a very, very big thank you to you. I always say an attitude of gratitude is good attitude. And of course, when a person shares their time with you, they share their life with you. So thank you very much, Landi Jac, for spending your time and of course your life with me and of course the audience today. And before you leave, do you want to leave a shout out for anybody? And of course, please do encourage our audience to do the needful, like, share, subscribe, and of course, push the message out.
So for our listeners here today, play a bigger game. Play a bigger game. And please, there's so many people in the world that needs this type of inspiration and has been looking for a sign or a message. And this may be it. So please pay it forward by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Thank you, Adimola.
Oh wow, thank you. And of course, your shout out. I guess you would want to shout out to your team or something, but of course, a shout out to your team, shout out to Mike, and of course, whoever you want to leave a shout out to.
Shout out. Shout out to the love of my life, Mike Hancock. There's just no man like him on this planet. And I love our life and everything we do together. And shout out to our Circle of Excellence, especially gold clients who's just playing a bigger game and so inspirational. And to every single person around this planet that's making things happening for us by supporting us with such incredible dedication and love.
Wow,
Thank
interesting.
you.
And of course, shout out to your cousin, Dricus Duplessis, the UFC middleweight champion of the world. And shout out to every African that is proud of
Big
the
time.
African heritage.
Africa is
Africa unites,
rising.
Africa rise.
Africa is rising. Watch
Proudly
this
African,
space. Yeah, yeah.
proudly African. And of course, our
Proudly
audience,
African.
till I come your way again, I keep working hard to land the jackpot of, great individuals like Landi Jac, just support. And of course, look after yourselves.
Good.